We're complaining here. If we are complaining about people's attire, you know, it's because they're dressed too informally. They're wearing a t-shirt with a big logo on it or something like that. You know, she knows she's coming to court to testify today. She knows that our cameras are in the courtroom and she's going to be on national television. She presumably looks in the mirror and says, okay, I'm good. I'm ready. I'm good. What do you think's going on?
This is who I am, and I don't change, even if I'm going into a courtroom. I think
maybe she's more conservative than she usually is. She's got the pantsuit.
That's true.
It's possible.
Although she's got quite a tush there. Anyway, I think the fact that there is
more power to her, right?
Exactly. No, listen, I'm just jealous. That's really what it's about. Now, I think also, I mean, this really sounds duplicitous, but we've got 6 men on the jury, right? Wouldn't you think that the lawyers for the defense would be smart enough? You know, I mean, there they are. They're just doing their thing there, and maybe they have her there and they don't say anything because they want, you know, her to be
bend over right as she takes the
on their
witness
side.
stand. You know, I got to tell everyone, this witness has a name. Her name is Denise Boger. She actually did testify. Words came out of her mouth, and the extent that anybody heard or understood or grasped them, well, that remains to be seen. Let's take a quick look at what she had to say for the prosecution.
Were you able to see anything about his face?
Yeah, I sat next to him. He looked like someone who had just woken up.
What does that mean?
Puffy eyes, red I guess red eyes, and that's about it.
Okay. And were you able to smell an odor of an alcoholic beverage on him?
I may have smelled something on him. I'm not quite sure now in retro what it was, but yes.
Ed Sapone, I have to bring you in. Give us the male point of view. I mean, is anyone understanding or grasping any of her testimony, or are they just sitting there in shock?
Well, I think it's a shocking attire, Lisa, but, you know, more important than the dress is what's coming out of her mouth, of course. That's why she's there. One thing I thought, and this is probably the devious side of my thought process, is perhaps she wore clothes that she thought would damage her credibility because she didn't want to be there. Because she is a prosecution witness, but she is a former flight attendant, and perhaps she's there against her will.
Wow.
And when she got dressed, she thought, well, maybe because I have to tell the truth under oath, maybe I'll just look a certain way and the jury will discount what I'm saying. I mean, maybe the good Dr. Testa could speak better about that.
Dr. Testa?
I'm just a criminal defense lawyer.
She's trying to sabotage herself?
No, I don't think so. Honestly, I don't.
In another context, she would look great. If she's in a bar, if she's at a concert, she looks great, right?
Yes, yes, yes. And, you know, Ed made a point before about, you know, honoring the jury and the process and all the rest, and that she shouldn't be dressed like that. I think it was something like that, Ed. But I think that's stretching the truth, you know, what you just said.
Well, let's take a look, Ed, and see if she supports you, because she did testify as well for the defense, or rather she was cross-examined by the defense. Take a listen.
You also testified earlier that you're not a big drinker.
No.
Okay, but yet you had champagne at the Mayfair House, shared a bottle of wine at 22 Tangos, and then had a martini at Mr. Moe's, correct? Okay, thank you. And so at some point you leave the bar, correct?
Let her finish.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, I didn't drink the martini.
Oh.
And the champagne comes in a itty-bitty flute glass, and it's just a little bit, and 1 bottle of wine serves 4 people.
Okay.
1 glass.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Ed, you need to stay out of this conversation for just a minute. This is just between us girls. Beth, did you ever have a friend who dresses very provocatively and then complains because that's all that the men are looking at and it's all that they're talking about?
Actually, I did know a woman like that years ago. I'm out of touch with her now. She was a real character, a lot of fun to be around.
I mean, it's kind of a girl thing, right, Dr. Testa?
Yes,
I mean, I have
it
a friend,
is.
I just had lunch with her, and she wore a top that was that low cut at a nice restaurant here in Manhattan.
Yeah.
We had lunch, and then she said, that guy's staring at my, you know, insert crude term for breasts.
Methinks she
Well, what do you
protests.
think he's staring at? I'm staring at him, too.
She's protesting too much, you know? I mean, when she sees herself in the mirror every morning, and she must like being a girl, and to her, being a girl is, you know, if you've got it, flaunt it.
All right, Beth Karras, I'm tired of this topic. Let's get back to the trial. 2 men are on